the fifth got this wrong by ensuring that all hospitals under Agenda 111 are completed on schedule.
Also tonight, Anglican priest at the center of the Holy Kiss saga, sacked by the school's management. But is that sanction deterrent enough? We'll be finding out.
Well, coming up in business news tonight, Talo Ghana to invest $4 billion for the next 10 years in Ghana through its Ghana Value Maximization Plan.
And on the international front this evening, the Taliban vows to respect women's rights within Islamic law. We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com. Also remember to go onto the Google Play Store or the App Store. Download the 3 News app if you haven't done that already. Let's engage. Very interactive this evening. Let's get into the stories now. The Upper West Minority Caucus in Parliament is demanding the immediate deployment of the 48th Engineers Regiment of the military to the Upper West region to create access routes for residents reeling under the effects of the recent floods in the area. A 12-hour heavy downpour has impaired major routes and bridges in the region. The NDC MPs want urgent steps taken to avert a catastrophe.
The rains destroyed bridges, roads and farmlands, according to the Upper West Regional Office of the National Disaster Management Organization. A total of 1,605 people from 336 households were severely affected. About 722 hectares of farmland are also submerged. The 3 most affected areas are Nadoli Kalio District, Jirapa Municipality, and Dafiama Busi Isa District.
Pregnant women who are in critical condition in these isolated districts will suffer because many of them have been cut off from the regional hospital. So referrals from these districts to the regional hospital will be affected. And therefore, if care is not taken, we are likely to record some increase in maternal deaths because of the difficulty in accessing, the regional hospital for, complicated interventions.
However, most worrying is the slow deployment of humanitarian support by the National Disaster Management Organization.
That it should liaise to the Ministry of Defense so they can create access routes and ease the vehicular traffic and then the commuters that are stranded. Because fixing a bridge, as indicated that they have gotten a contractor to do that, to start work in a week. But we know that fixing a bridge may take more than a week to do. So if you are relying on that, so that means that people will be stranded until probably after a month, 2 or 3. That's why we're also calling on the minister to get to the Ministry of Defense to use the 48th Engineers Regiment to see how they can bring some relief temporarily while they work.
For now, transport operators are using a longer route to take residents to Nadoli and Laura, forcing price hikes.
Still on the effect of the floods, lorry fares to the 5 affected districts and municipalities in the region have been increased following the washing away of portions of some major roads and highways, leading to the use of alternative routes by transport operators.
Lorry fare from Wa to Hamile, which used to be 28 cedis, is now 35 cedis. Jirapa to Wa has also increased from 12 to 20 cedis. Laura Wa moved from 18 to 25. Nadoli to Wa also increased from 10 to 15 as a result of the long-distance journeys using the alternative route. Both drivers and passengers at the Wa main lorry station have been reacting to the new development.
The school will open on 13th of this month, but due to the poor nature of the road, I couldn't go on the 13th. Yesterday when I came, they told me that it was 35, but today when I came, they took me 30 cities from Wa to Nandom. But I don't know the road that currently they have to pass to Nandom. But I heard that the road leading to Nandom, that's not the road. It has been destroyed by a flood.
The route is not the route again. We have to go and pass through different places. That is the nature of the road.
Students Nigerians have to stay at home to be able to get
to halt.
The devastating floods followed pressure from the 8 major tributaries linking the new dam under construction. All manner of crops, roads, and other infrastructure were submerged. Livestock and other property were also washed away as the menacing floods continued to push harder. Additionally, the surge by water from the Tangmene irrigation dam is threatening the survival of over 40 households, schools, and health centers in the area. Stranded inhabitants of Gagbili, Zambala, Bugri, Gago, Kugzoa, Gelekolo, Napadi, Arazim, Kolosabulu, Zuli, Kugri, and other affected communities can now only watch their farmlands from afar. These farmers, who were recovering from the impact of delayed rains and fertilizer shortage, attributed the setback to what they termed poor engineering work. According to them, the contractors have blocked the exit points of the 8 major rivers that will be the main source of water intake into the new dam, leading to the floods.
We copied letters to all the concerned people, Bokunaba, Minister of Agri, then the President, and all the concerned people. But they never listened to us, and that is why we are suffering.
Everything has been submerged. The women have nowhere to go. They can't even get anything, so it's going to be a big problem. And then, actually, the animals where they used to graze, the land, the water has occupied the whole of that place. There's no any place for you to graze animals.
For the assembly member for Gabri, Atabir Akuka Idrisu, his entire electoral area has been cut off, and his fear is food insecurity.
We can't get road now to cross to Garu Market. We can't get farm here now to farm rice. Our maize, water has taken everything. So we are now appealing to the government to come to our aid.
Construction of a Tangmene irrigation dam began in 2016 and is expected to support irrigation in the area. It is being funded by the Export Development and Agricultural Investment Fund and the Government of Ghana. None of the contractors, Munisco Limited and EA Kamevo Railsap Limited, were on site to respond to the concerns of residents.
Away from the floods, let's go to the Ashanti region, where the chief of Esonyuno, Nana Achinakwejan V, has asked President Akufo-Addo to prove skeptics wrong by ensuring that all hospitals under Agenda 111 are completed on schedule. The chief, who represented the Asante Hene at the groundbreaking ceremony at the Ashanti region for the commencement of the countrywide project, expressed concern about some abandoned hospital projects.
Agenda 111 is expected to boost access to quality healthcare services in every district. President Akufo-Addo noted government had secured sites and land titles for 88 out of the 101 district hospitals.
Beyond the building of these new healthcare facilities, my vision is to help make Ghana the center of excellence for medical care in West Africa by 2030. This we will achieve by investing more in the development of our healthcare infrastructure, mapping our regional health facilities to specialization, as well as upgrading selected facilities in our regional and teaching hospitals.
The chief of Esonyuno and representative of the Asante Hene, Nana Achinakwejan V, expressed concern about the non-completion of some hospital projects across the country and urged President Akufo-Addo to fulfill his promise.
Ghanaians are challenging the initiative because there are some projects like the Kumewu Hospital which is yet to be completed. If you are able to complete this project, it will be a long-lasting legacy in your honor.
The hospitals, when completed, will have emergency and accident wards, maternal and child health units, physiotherapy units, theaters, pediatric centers, isolation centers, and accommodation for staff, among others.
Well, so questions have been raised about a a lack of clear evidence for exactly where this money is going to be coming from, the 1.7 billion, the total cost figure that has been given, where it's going to be coming from, and also the sources for this particular funding, especially because of what we've witnessed in the period, where we have projects that have been started and not completed by governments gone by. This is what has been of concern, especially to you, the Ghanaian people, and civil society organizations as well. Take a look at this. I'm getting to the details of this particular figures or the statistics you see right there. 101 district hospitals. We have about 7 regional hospitals and then also 3 psychiatric hospitals. That is what, according to this specific breakdown, is going to be. What you're going to have now is the 101 hospitals for districts. The emphasis is on districts that do not have hospitals. That's where these 101 district hospitals are going to be located. Also, according to what we're learning, the project timeline is between 12 and 18 months. That is also been raised, questions there, as a very unrealistic, time period to have these hospital projects actually executed between 12 to 18 months. Some have raised the realistic nature of this timeline or this period that has been given for the execution. Also, another issue has been about the sites that have been cleared for this particular project. We understand that, according to the president, 88 sites have been cleared for out of the 101 district hospitals stated here. Also, another issue of concern is the $100 million commencement fee as well, specifically whether the money is there and how that is going to be disbursed over the period. The total cost of the 101 hospitals that has been the district hospitals, which is going to be located in districts with no hospitals as we speak, the cost has begun at 1.7 billion. This 1.7 billion, you would have a breakdown of each of the hospitals costing about 16.8 million. 16.8 million. Out of that, you have 12.8 million being for the construction fee, and then also 4 million will be for issues of medical equipment and others to fill in these hospitals that are going to be constructed. The issue there, Portia, is that there are specific or existing hospitals that have not been completed, for instance, the chip compounds and others, where questions are being raised as to why those projects will not be completed before going on to these new ones. And also the issue about spreading these thin resources over a number of projects rather than concentrating it into building specific bigger hospitals that will serve a bigger purpose with the right resources and amenities in there. So those are the specific issues that have been raised, and over time we're going to give you the details and analysis of how this is going to pan out with respect to the specific services that they are going to serve. The 3 district hospitals, that's the 3 psychiatric hospitals, is also something that has been raised. Portia, and you are very passionate about mental health, and you look at the state of the existing psychiatric hospitals. Across Psychiatric Hospital, we have what's in Central Region and then Pantang as well. They are not in a very good state. Okay, so why the concentration on building the new hospitals, psychiatric hospitals, when the existing ones are also reeling under serious impact of lack of resources?
Well, thank you very much, Alfred. And you did hear from the chief of ASUN, talking about uncompleted hospital projects. Well, former President John Mahama has also been reacting to this, and the former President John Mahama has admonished the Akufo-Addo administration to complete infrastructure projects started during his tenure, even as the president embarks on new ones. And John Mahama was speaking during an interaction with chiefs in the Upper East region, where he is on it all.
Governance is supposed to be a continuum, and so when the government takes over from there, it continues what the previous government was doing. When I came into office, as best as I could, the projects that we had inherited from the preceding government, we tried to continue them. Some concluded, some were finished, others we moved it to another level so that another government can also continue based on the resources envelope that was available to us. And so I urge that you continue to urge on this president that the e-blocks that are standing get space to our national reputation. Because as I've said before, it's not my education minister sister here, Nana Pupajima, who was my running mate in 2020, who financed them out of her pocket. Or it wasn't me who financed it out of my pocket. It was the taxpayers' money, your money and my money, that we used to put up those blocks. Some are near completion, others are at various stages, and they've just been abandoned. And today we don't have enough capacity in secondary school. So for the existing secondary schools, some of our children have to go on one light, and then when the light changes, another batch go. And so the children are not getting enough contact time with their teachers. And it's not only schools, it's road projects, it is hospital projects. We should continue them so that our people can benefit from the money that has been invested in those places.
More reactions, analysis, and subsequent bulletins, but the decision by the management of St. Monica's College of Education to sack the school chaplain exposed in a viral video kissing some students has also raised questions about any further legal action against the chaplain in question. Although an investigation is underway, it is unclear whether the Anglican priest at the center of this holy kiss saga is headed, and indeed if he will indeed face the law as we speak.
In a matter of 24 hours since the video of the St. Monica chaplain, Reverend Father Obinlabi, kissing 3 students went viral, he has been sacked by school authorities. A significant concern relating to the incident is the non-adherence to COVID protocols in addition to indecent exposure. One of the 3 students appears to resist the attempt by the priest to plant the kiss, but the priest would go ahead to aid her draw down her face mask before planting his lips into hers. The audience captured briefly in the video could be seen hailing and jeering on as the action continued. In a swift reaction to the public outrage, the Anglican Church announced it had set in motion processes to probe the conduct of a chaplain. Here is Executive Director to the Metropolitan Archbishop, Dr. George Dawson Amwa.
We need also to listen to the priest and also institute administrative procedures. Like as an institution, there should be an administrative procedure, which we have initiated.
But even before the conclusion on this by the Church, the St. Monica's College of Education has relieved him of his position. Some legal minds are, however, split over whether or not the 3 ladies can take further action against the priest.
Even if it's the first time the authorities witnessed it and they let it continue, then that is wrong. The criminal, because this is also indecent assault against the girl.
The concern also came from the students, and I gather that they are not minors. So that also could also play to his defense. Hearing also from the grapevine, he has had instances of where students will sit on his lap. So investigations will bring out the proper criminal range.
The Anglican Church, meanwhile, says it is working to ensure it provides psychological support for the young ladies captured in the viral video.
In more news tonight, management and staff at some vaccination centers in the Tema metropolis in the Greater Accra region are having a tough time dealing with the number of persons to be vaccinated. My colleague Joseph Armstrong was at some centers and has come through with this report.
According to those who had gone for the jabs, they were at the centers as early as 4 a.m. Many people showed up at the exercise at other centers visited. The situation was not different at the Makola Clinic, where people are eager to take the jab.
We've encountered an increased number of people compared to yesterday. People are very enthusiastic about the vaccine. They are eager to take it, and they are even queuing. They came to queue before we started the vaccination. We are in a pandemic and we are fighting to achieve herd immunity. And so for everybody to be eager to want to take it, you are protecting yourself and you are protecting your loved ones.
One of them in the queue shared his frustration.
Process of registration is dependent on the net. and the internet is very slow. And I don't know if you can handle it's 70 now. It might become another 300-400 as the day goes along. Without the internet, they can't work.
Well, so the news coming in from our colleagues there in Cameroon, where the AFCON 2021 draw is taking place, is that Ghana has been drawn in Group C together with Morocco, Comoros Islands and Gabon. So we have Morocco, Ghana, Comoros and Gabon in Group C. That is the news just coming in right now. And AFCON 2021, we now know our opponents. Group C, Morocco, Ghana, Comoros and Gabon. These are the countries that Ghana will be playing against in the Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah. But we'll stay on it coming up a lot more in sports. We'll delve into it as we go on. But many structures have been demolished at Kasapreko Junction along the Spintex Road in Accra to pave way for the construction of a bypass to reduce vehicular congestion in the area. Occupants of slums demolished resisted eviction, citing no prior notice from government and non-payment of compensation to them. The Assembly, however, refuted the claims and went ahead to pull down the unauthorized structures.
It was an exercise to clear the area for the commencement of work on the main Spintex Road. The stretch will link commuters from the Palismore end of a Spintex Road to Kasapreko Junction. It is expected to ease congestion on the main road, particularly during peak hours. Slums have developed along the stretch, making movement for both pedestrians and vehicles a difficult task. Occupants resisted the demolition exercise, nearly clashing with Assembly officials. Affected occupants. It was an exercise to clear the area for the commencement of work on the main Spintex Road. The stretch will link commuters from the Palismore end of a Spintex Road to Kasapreko Junction. It is expected to ease congestion on the main road, particularly during peak hours. Slums have developed along the stretch, making movement for both pedestrians and vehicles a difficult task. Occupants resisted the demolition exercise, nearly clashing with Assembly officials. Affected occupants complained of no prior notice and the non-payment of compensation.
You know how the economy is very hard. Even to get a CD is very, very difficult. And look at, no one will have money and will decide to stay here. So you should know things are very hard for us. So at least there should be a time extended so that we should be able to pack our things and then go and settle somewhere else.
The municipal chief executive for Krowo, Joshua Bote, refuted the claims.
We have not destroyed any iron container, but it's the Lotto kiosk, that is what we have done. But God so good, they are moving out. I thank them for the cooperation that they have given to us. I really want to encourage them to move their legal structures as fast as possible so that the contractor can have access.
He said only those who have immovable properties and buildings will be compensated. The Member of Parliament for Krowo, Agnes Namulati, however, asked the Assembly to exercise restraint in dealing with the squatters.
In fact, we started this thing during the Tamil's regime, that when you are ready with development, then you go in to relocate the people, you do demolition when the resources and the contractors are ready to move to site. So yes, if the contractors are moving to site, the people have to relocate, but we have to put a human face to the relocation.
So live here on NEWS360, we're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, all across the world on 3news.com.
We have business news coming up shortly with Eto Namsi. Don't worry.
Zoom right here in my house. Hey,
look up there. Why are you using inferior pen?
It was a mistake. I no check.
Acrobat, I'm going to knock you out.
I know, sir.
You deserve quality.
Don't make mistakes. Stop.
You did the right thing.
When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
Mama Chelsea.
Ah, fair.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Gigi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
For generations, Ghanaians have had one thing in common, and that's the way we start our day. Wherever your day will take you, start with the energy from Cadbury Richoco, made from the finest Ghanaian cocoa.
This advert is FDA approved.
From wherever you are on planet football,
You can go anywhere in the world, but nobody feels football like we do.
and they sing.
It's a rhythm of 1-2. 1-1-2. Football.
Le football.
Soccer. 1-2.
That moves us.
There's no feeling like that feeling.
It's so nice. It's so nice.
Nothing compares to DSTV's unbeatable football offering. So stay connected to watch the best football on the planet.
I love football. Football can be a dirty game, on or off the pitch. Even when I'm trying to score at a party, stains find a way of tracking me down. But I don't worry at all, because I have Cleansoft. Use new Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, a unique formula with active ingredients and enzymes that gets rid of all stubborn stains and leaves your clothes smelling wonderful. Cleansoft, my favorite. Cleansoft 360 Deep Clean, clean all.
I'm at the station. Please, can you give me the directions? Ask anyone. Okay, madam.
Madam Punchy Peach.
Why you go Punchy Peach? Coso Road. Now, where is number 4 and Numde Avenue?
Front right, sharp left.
Please, direct me to number 4 and Numde Avenue. One can you go Punchy Peach? And give me direction to number 4 and Numde Avenue.
Go, sir.
Please, can you direct me to number 24 Numde Avenue?
Keep going with the goodness of the new Fan Yogo Punchy Peach. So cool, so good.
Hello there. We know what matters today, don't we? Hurry up. Follow safety measures. Drive for hours. Grab a perfect spot. Park smoothly. And then visit another shop. And scroll for the opportunities. Tap to pay. Enjoy that extra reward. Get 10% extra cash back when you pay with Visa. How you pay matters.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN, Roma Insecticide Spray and Coil,
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights,
Universal Merchant Bank,
Lufat.
Let's do business now. My name is Eton Amse. Telo Ghana has reiterated its commitment to investing $4 billion over the next 10 years in Ghana through its Ghana Value Maximization Plan at the ongoing Offshore Technology Conference in Houston, Texas. Managing Director for Telo Ghana, Wissam Al Montheri, says this investment is expected to maximize value from the Jubilee and 10 assets and deliver consistent revenue to government. This substantial benefit to Ghana highlights continuing contribution of the oil and gas industry to Ghana's economy. Meanwhile, the Minister for Energy, Dr. Matthew Kokoprempe, has said that the country's huge gas reserves makes it imperative for her to exploit and monetize them as leverage for her industrial takeoff. Let's move on to some other story. And Chief Executive Officer for the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Hannah Abdul Wahab, has allayed fears the country may experience food crisis. He gave the assurance on the sidelines of the inauguration of the new board for the National Food Buffer Stock Company in Accra.
Hike in food prices coupled with a delay in rains this year, fertilizer shortage and recent flooding in the northern parts of the country have led to anxiety over possible food insecurity. But the Chief Executive Officer of the National Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul Wahab, says the company is adequately stocked.
We have all these strategies in place. I can assure you that there will not be food shortage. We are putting measures, and we have been in this business for the past 4 years, and thanks to the planting for food and jobs.
The Buffer Stock CEO further spoke about key government interventions to ensure food security.
Every year, government increases the number of beneficiaries on the program. So more beneficiaries meaning more food secured. So generally it's going on well because we have more farmers. I think we have clocked over 1 million farmers now. We're looking at about 1.5 million farmers benefiting the planting for food and jobs. And we are going to keep on expanding the program.
The reconstituted board of the company has Henry Nanabwachi as chairman.
Government is working around the clock to bridge the gap between lending rates and Bank of Ghana's policy rate, as the relatively high rates are affecting cost of doing business in the country. The senior presidential advisor, Yao Osafo-Maafo, who made this known at the opening of the 4th Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition 2021 in Accra, hinted of plans to make the private sector more competitive.
The Ghana Industrial Summit is generally looking at positioning Ghanaian businesses to take full advantage of opportunities under the African Continental Free Trade Area. Senior Presidential Advisor Yao Osafo-Maafo says access to cheap credit is key for the private sector.
I have always felt guilty about the difference between lending rate and Bank of Ghana rate. All over the world, the central bank rate guidance, which comes as a bank rate, is related to the lending to the industry. And the word is the spread. Because if I bring it down from 30 to 20, I've reduced it by 10. And there should be corresponding effect on the lending. You cannot then reduce the lending by 3 or 4 or 5. You must come down also by 10.
He said government recognizes the challenges of long-term lending.
The banks, through no fault of theirs, have also preferred to lend short and maximum medium. Short-term lending, the icing on the cake for our banks, and for good reason. And as a result of that, retail business have really flourished in our system because the banks would normally prefer to lend short. So the traders had not much difficulty accessing bank credit, but industry has.
The 4th Ghana Industrial Summit and Exhibition 2020 is on repositioning Ghanaian industries to leverage the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Director for Planning, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation at the National Pensions Regulators Association, NS Amate Vondi, has urged them to contribute to the right kinds of pension schemes to ensure a stress-free retirement. He made the observation at the Old Mutuals Obrapa Retirement Salary Stakeholders Forum in Accra.
The forum, which brought together stakeholders from the insurance sector, updated participants on the Obrapa retirement salary. The package for persons aged 50 and above provides an avenue for one to invest a lump sum of not less than 20,000 cedis and receive regular disbursements, beginning either immediately or at some point in the future.
Retirement planning is more extensive. It comes with healthcare planning,